Do you know, there's something that I was going to read at one point the other day, and I didn't have a copy of it handy, but I've got one, and I want to share it. So we throw the screens up, Scott. Let's take a look here. This is it. Big money. Do you know, thanks, Scott. Napoleon Hill, in Think and Grow Rich, talks about big money. And big is a relative term. What's big to one person may be very small to another. So we're talking about money that's well beyond what you're earning now. And he talks about how to do it. And it is so good. Napoleon Hill said, when money comes in quantities known as the big money, it flows to the one who accumulates it as easily as water flows downhill. There exists a great unseen stream of power, which may be compared to a river, except that one side flows in one direction, carrying all who get into that side of the stream onward and upward to wealth. The other side flows in the opposite direction, carrying all who are unfortunate enough to get into it and then not able to extricate themselves from it downward to misery and poverty. Been there. Every person who has accumulated great fortune has recognized the existence of this stream of life. It consists of one's thinking process. The positive emotions of thought form the side of the stream which carries one to fortune. The negative emotions form the side which carries one down to poverty. This carries a thought of stupendous importance to the person who is following this with the object of accumulating a fortune. If you are in the side of the stream of power which leads to poverty, this may serve as an oar by which you may propel yourself over to the other side of the stream. It can serve you only through application and use. Merely reading and passing judgment on it, either one way or another, is of no benefit to you. Poverty and riches often change places. Poverty may, and generally does, voluntarily take the place of riches. When riches take the place of poverty, the change is usually brought about through well-conceived and carefully executed plans. Poverty needs no plan. It needs no one to aid it, because it is bold and ruthless. Riches are shy and timid. They have to be attracted. And you see, you attract it when you get in harmony with it. When you saw Kim Calvert and Kathleen Cameron the other day, those two women are in harmony with the law with respect to money. They both earn millions of dollars. That's not an exaggeration. And it all happened very fast, as Napoleon Hill said it would. He pointed out that, you know, when the money starts coming, it'll come so fast and furious, you'll wonder where it was hiding through all those lean years. So apparently we've got some questions, and I'm all ready to answer them. Now, I heard, Mikey, that we have a question coming from Maria Avelina. And when you see her hand go up, I want to talk to her.
You got it, Bob.
Maria Avelina.
I will be on the lookout.
And she's from Mexicali. Okay. Nice place. Gina Otry sang about Mexicali. I like that. All right, let's go, Mikey.
All right, first question here. What made you stick to your goal and motivated to keep moving? Many are motivated but get entangled in their other responsibilities.
That's a really good question. The man that gave me the book, Ray Stanford, I really didn't know him that well either at the time. But the guy always had money. He was always well-dressed. He was always happy. And I never saw him sick. And he said something at one point. He said, Bob, my way's working, yours isn't. Why don't you try mine? I don't know why, but for some reason, I decided I would. Now, he said, the first thing I want you to do, I want you to sit down and decide what you want and write it on a card. And I did. I did not believe it would happen. I said I was going to have $25,000. I gave myself to New Year's Day of 1970. This was in 1961. I gave myself a decade to do it. And I kept reading the card. I think the card had a lot to do with it. Because every time I touched it, it made me think of it. I didn't believe it was going to happen, but Ray believed it. And I think I believed in his belief. And he stuck with me. He kept giving me encouragement. I think probably that would be it. It's a support system. You've got to have a good support system. Because when you go to make a big breakaway, I can guarantee a lot of your friends and relatives don't believe that you're going to do it. And they will give you some negative suggestions. They really will. And you need somebody that will really support you. Ray was a great support system for me that first year. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Bob, this next question, I want you to answer it two ways. The question is, if you have negative people in your environment, how can you not let them influence your thinking? In the beginning, when you wrote that $25,000 goal on your card, you talk about how the other firefighters made fun of you for it.
There's a story to that, and I haven't told it for years. I forgot all about it. I was in the fire hall, and I kept walking around, and I'd take this card out, and I'd read it. Well, you know what a bunch of guys are like when they get together, and they said, Proctor, what are you reading? What's that thing you keep, what's in your pocket? And then they said, hey, guys, I think we should know. That might be about us. What do you think? And the other guy said, yeah, I think so. Come on, Proctor, what's in your pocket? Well, before long, I'm on the floor, and they're going in my pocket, and they're coming out. Oh, look at this. Proctor's going to get wealthy. By New Year's Day of 1970, I will have $25,000. I mean, that was a joke. If you had taken all the money in the fire hall, you wouldn't come up with 25 grand. But they made fun of me. I almost threw the card away, but I didn't. Thank God I didn't. And they gave me a bad time. What was the other part of it, Mikey?
Well, the other part of it is just if you have negative people in your environment, how do you not let them?
Okay, well, first of all, they don't think they're negative. And if it's a loved one, you just have to make up your mind. You're not going to let any of them sway you. Now, you don't get mouthy about this and, try and put them down or anything. In fact, if it's a loved one, you may sit down and think of 4 or 5 really good points about them, very positive points. And every time they get negative, you see the positive point in them. See what's good in them. Because you cannot afford to let other people put you down. So you have to have a strong backup system. You might have a card with 4 or 5 wins on it. I was talking about somebody about that yesterday. Write out 8 or 9 of your wins and carry that around in your pocket. And it could go right back to the time you were a little kid. And those wins will support you. They will cause you to think back of when you made it happen. It may have been a lot of different things, but you made it happen. So you have to have a support system. The support system could just be a list of things in your own pocket. And start mixing with someone that's really on the right track. Go ahead, Mikey.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bob. This next question, how can I make a decision to really get unstuck? I find it difficult to realize if the decision I'm making is based on what I want or what I need.
Oh, not on what you need. There's no inspiration in needs. It's got to be what you want. When you're going after what you want, you'll always get what you need. It'll always be there. But there's no inspiration in needs. And unfortunately, that's where some people put their goals. Forget that. And listen, you don't have to know how you're going to get it. Look here for a moment. Put the screen up, Scott. This is very important. The screen's going up. There it is. Let this R represent results, your present results. And this star represents what you're going after. You have no idea how to get there. That doesn't matter. You've got to keep thinking of it, and the way will be shown. And you get there, and then you'll see how to go further. It's like Carlyle said one time, go as far as you can see, and when you get there, you'll see how to go further. The way will be shown. You don't have to know how to get there, but you have to know you're going to get there. You follow us. You follow what we'll tell you. I'll take you there. I'll show you how to get anything you want. In fact, I got a text from a good friend this morning, and this guy's been operated at about half speed, honestly. He has so much potential, and he's squandering it. I think that's come to an end. He's put an offer on a new home. That is going to change it. Probably scares him, but, get past it. There's nothing to be scared about. Fear is silly. You don't have to know how you're going to get there. You just have to know you're going to get there. Thanks, Scott.
Bob, this next question, how can you use the law of attraction to get clients in order to make sales?
Oh, easily. God, look at. First of all, leave everyone you meet with the impression of increase. Spirit is always for increase. Get in the way of increase. Always greater good. Now, there's a power flowing into your consciousness. You have, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 5 senses. Those senses are picking up stuff from your outside world. You want to say, no more. I am going to decide what's coming in here. I see myself. I build a picture of myself with a flow of clients. Mikey, how many people registered for this?
57,124.
57,124. If we can attract 57,124, so can you. You build a picture here. Build a big picture. That's a B. A big picture, and plant it in your heart. In other words, get emotionally involved in it. Just know it's going to happen. That moves your body into that vibration. It sets up, it causes you to act the way you act, but it also dictates what you attract. You will start attracting things to you. It may be somebody in a conversation is going to give you an idea. It's just one of the best ideas you've ever seen for attracting business. You've got to see business coming in increasing quantities. I used an affirmation the other day. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Now you can turn that around a bit. I'm so happy and grateful now that new prospects come to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Just know they're coming. I sometimes have to hide. I get so damn busy, I can't do everything. I've got more clients coming than I know what to do with. That's the way you want to get. That happened because that's what I saw. I believed it. Okay? Next one, Mikey.
This next question, Bob, is a paradigm shift immediate or is it gradual?
No, paradigm shift never stops. I'm still in a paradigm shift. Look here. Here's your mind, Scott. First of all, let's understand how the paradigm starts. Here you are here as a baby. And whatever's going on around comes right in there, over and over and over, and that's where the paradigm starts. And then you get a little older and you start thinking for yourself, but that paradigm is already in there. Now the paradigm is nothing but a multitude of habits. So 1, 2, do. There are all these multiple habits create the paradigm. It's a multitude of them. So how do you change it? You consciously make a decision of what you're going to do that's going to cause results, things you're going to do that you're not doing now. Or you take a look at something you are doing that's non-productive. You got a bad habit. Maybe you have a hard time getting going in the morning. Let's see how we can change that. Here we are here. If you have a hard time getting going in the morning, that is an action that is non-productive. It's something you're doing that just doesn't produce. It's giving you results you don't want. So you say, I'm changing that. I'm going to take that negative habit and I'm going to replace it with a positive habit. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am up and at it early. I was studying at 5:30 this morning. That's a habit of mine. I do it every morning. I get showered, I get dressed, all these things, have breakfast, they're habits. So you change one habit at a time, maybe two. Don't try and change too many at once. You won't change any. One or two habits at a time. And how do you pick them? You take a look at your own behavior, stand objectively and look at what you're doing. And when you see you're doing something that is non-productive, say, I'm going to replace that with something that's essentially the opposite. And you do that through the repetition over and over and over and over. You just keep planting that idea in your subconscious mind. And pretty soon, you have no idea how many habits I've changed. Listen, I was a bit of a useless ne'er-do-well when I picked up this book. I was 26. And I was a mess. I mean, I wasn't a bad person. I was just dumb. I was going in the wrong direction. I was doing nothing constructive. And at 26, got the goal, got a support system. He was a new person in my life, but he inspired me. He was so damn successful. Let us inspire you. Stay tuned into us. We don't go down, we stay up. Somebody goes down, we pump them back up again. Keep going, Mikey.
All right, this next question. How can I overcome addiction using Bob's material?
Well, just stop and think of what an addiction is. Put the screen up again, Scott. I overcome addictions. I used to smoke. And that was a habit that's in here. It was a negative habit. And I made up my mind I was going to stop smoking. This was many years ago. And what changed my mind is this guy said, you don't smoke, do you? And I said, yeah. And he said, no, you don't. He said, the cigarette smokes, you suck. See, he gave me a negative idea about it. And like that, I butted the cigarette. I never lit another one again. I'm going back on 30, 40 years. I used to hang out in bars all the time. I thought I was the big shooter, going into the bars. And I'd go in and I'd sit down and one glass after another, and I'm looking around one day, and I thought, they're all bums in here. And all of a sudden, it was like a euphoric experience. I thought, I must be too, because I'm always here. I put the glass down, I got up and I walked out, I said, I'm never touching that again. I never did. What you do, you get a new habit that's essentially the opposite to the bad habit. You consciously build a new one, and you act on that. Now, I used to think, what are people going to say if they're all having a drink and I'm not having one? Well, they don't really care about you. They didn't care about me. That was in my mind, I was thinking that. The guy said, I used to think it was smart to drink, now I think it's smart not to. Used to think it was smart to smoke, now I think it's smart not to. Most people quit these things for the same reason they start. See, an addiction is nothing but a physical habit coupled with a mental obsession. Well, change your obsession. An obsession is a persistent, disturbing preoccupation of an often unreasonable idea. Get rid of them. Replace it. It's dumb. It doesn't do you any good. It attracts bad people. It attracts no money. It attracts nothing of any interest. Build a big idea. Say, I'm going to hang around these people. They've got something going. I'm going to tell you something. Everybody in this company has really got something going. Hang around us for a while. That's what I did. Worked for me. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Bob. This next question is a good one. How can I find out what I really want to do with my life?
Oh, God. Such a good one. I'll tell you exactly what to do. Take a pad and just maybe a tiny little pad and go to the same place every day. I would recommend early in the morning. And take your pen and the pad and make yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or something and sit there and think, what do I really love doing? What do I really love doing? Start writing the things down. That's where your purpose is. You see, I totally believe that you and I, everybody, every one of us, we're hardwired to do something extraordinarily well. How do you find it? Find out what you love doing. I talked to a doctor in Phoenix here, probably 2 or 3 years ago now, and he told me he was leaving the medical profession. I said, why? Well, he said, it's all screwed up now. He said, you've got to put in more time to earn less money. I said, I'd heard that. But I said, why did you become a doctor? Well, he said, I love it. Well, I said, what the hell do you want to quit for? Well, he said, the money. I said, your mistake is that you think you go to work to earn money. You don't work to earn money. You go to work for satisfaction. If you find what you love to do and you dedicate your life to it, you're going to have a satisfied life. You can still earn a lot of money. You can be earning money while you're sleeping, for God's sake. Now think of this. Money is a reward received for service rendered. It's got nothing to do with your work. Now, if you can earn a lot of money at work, that's why I think this is such a phenomenal business. I don't even know where you could earn more money than as a consultant. If you make up your mind, I'm not only going to do this, I'm going to get good at it. I'm going to get these people to really teach me how to do this. Well, then you're going to do really well. Take the time every day to sit down and say, what do I love doing? That's what you're going to do. Do what you love. You can always learn how to provide more service to earn more money. Okay?